Let me show you the easiest way to cut a long pencil skirt. I'm going to be using this lace for the skirt and this top face for the lining. I'm cutting both the front and the back panel together. So I folded my fabric into two, and then I'm going to fold again into four, leaving my zipper allowance at the back. Okay, so this method will just help you to cut both panels together at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to be starting all my measurement from that part all the way to the back. Okay, hope you can see. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to mark my skirt length. Okay, so I want the selvedge of this lace to be at the lower part of the skirt. I don't want to hem the skirt, and I don't want to use the lining to pull it up. So what you're going to do is that we're going to take the measurements like this, putting in consideration that the lower part is going to serve as the selvedge of our skirt. We are not adding any hemming allowance or any folding allowance. Okay, so we're going to start all of our measurements like this. Okay, but if you're going to be hemming your skirt, or you're going to be using a lining to pull it in, especially if you're sewing an Ankara skirt, you're going to add all your sewing allowance to the length. Okay, so but for me, I'm not going to do all of that. Okay, so I'm going to take my length. The length is 40 inches. I'm just going to add half inch to the upper part for me to turn my lining at the waist region. Okay, the lower part is not going to be turned, like I said. So that is what I'm basically explaining there. But if you're adding hemming allowance, you're going to be using your lining to pull the lower part of the skirt. You can add 2 inches to the lower part of the skirt, excluding the half inch you're going to add to the up. Hope that is clear. But if you are hemming also, you can add 1.5 inches or even 2 inches, depending on what you want. Okay, hope that is clear. So I'm marking the length of the skirt, which is 40 plus half an inch for the turning of the lining on top, which is 40.5. okay, that is what I've marked. So at this point, I'm going to take my hip line. So you also put into consideration the half inch that you're going to use to turn the upper part while you are marking your hip line. Okay, so I went ahead to mark my hip line. You can take your own measurements for your hip line, okay, and just mark it at that point. So after marking the hip line, I'm going to mark the knee length. You don't really need the knee length for this measurements. We can actually do without it, but for the sake of the beginner, you can go ahead and place your tape rule at the waist region and measure it to your knee length, and impute the measurement like that. On a norms, we are supposed to take all our measurement from that part that I just mentioned, but now we're going to take it this way. Like you can see the way I place my tape rule. Divide your waist by 4 and add your sewing allowance. So my sewing allowance is 2 inches. I divided my waist by 4 and I imputed it there. So do the same to your hip. Divide your hip by 4, cut off your hip plus your sewing allowance, which I used 2 for my own. So you're going to come to the hem line. Whatever you have at the hip line, you're going to subtract 1.5 inches from it. But if you really want the skirt really pencil, you can subtract 2 inches or even 2.5, depending on what you want. Okay, but I use 1.5. okay, so once you're done marking that, just connect all the points together from the waistline to the hip line, from the hip line to the hem line. So that is what I'm doing basically. So once you're done connecting all the points, I'm just trying to highlight the lines, the points, okay, so that it will be obvious. Okay, so once you're done doing that, you're going to start cutting the skirt. Okay, so I started by cutting the waistline, then move to the sides like this and just cut all the way down. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for subscribing. So I'm just cutting all the way. Please watch this video to the end, because there are some things I will still have to do to the skirt to avoid bulginess at the waist region and at the zipper region. Okay, so at that point for the back panel, I'm going to mark half an inch from the waistline. My zipper allowance is 1.5 inches. Okay, so I mark half an inch from the waistline, and I just blended it in. Okay, so for you to know where to blend it into, you can use like between 6 to 7 inches and just blend it in like this, and then cut this out. This will help to eliminate any bulginess. Okay, for the lining, I stopped 5 inches to the M line because that's what my clients want. Okay, but if you are sewing for a client that wants the lining to stop 15 inches or 20 inches before the M line, you can do that. Okay, so I use this doll face to cut the lining out, and because the lace is stretchy, I had to add extra allowance to the lining. Okay, the lace is stretchy. Okay, so that by the time I'm done turning it, there won't be any shortage. Okay, if you are done turning and there's shortage, it's more dangerous. Okay, it's better you have excess than for it not to be enough. So that is what I did basically. But if you're cutting a skirt that you don't need to, you want to turn the lower part with your lining, what you do is that your lining should be 2 inches shorter than your actual fabric. Okay, if you are aiming the lower part also, your lining should be shorter so that the lining don't come out when you are done cutting. Okay, hope that is straightforward. Okay, hope you find this video helpful. Don't forget to like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, show me some love and drop a comment. Please, you can drop an emoji if you don't know the comments to drop. I love you guys. Please don't stop learning, keep learning, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.